What if the life you dream of is not waiting for you to chase it, but waiting for you to tune in? What if nothing has ever been missing, and you were never behind? You are just broadcasting on the wrong frequency. You are not separate from the version of you that already has everything. You are entangled with it right now. It is not in another place, it is in another vibration. The field is already listening. It always has been. The question is, what signal have you been sending? Every thought, every breath, every feeling is a transmission. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Most people spend their lives trying to change from the outside in. They try to fix their world before they fix their energy. And they wonder why nothing stays. Because the field does not respond to effort. It responds to coherence. It responds to identity. It listens to the version of you that is most consistent, not the one that tries the hardest. Think of yourself like a radio. The frequency you choose determines the station you hear. If you are tuned to self-doubt, you will keep picking up static. If you are tuned to clarity, you will start to hear music again. The signal is not about words. It is not about positive thinking. It is about resonance. You cannot fake resonance. The field knows the truth of your tone. The universe does not respond to your sentences. It responds to your state. So the real question is not how to manifest more, but who is doing the manifesting? Which version of you is sending the signal right now? The one who doubts or the one who already knows? The field is not waiting for your effort. It is waiting for your alignment. It is waiting for you to remember the frequency you were born with. This is the shift most people never make. They spend years trying to earn what was already theirs because they forgot they were the signal itself. You do not need to learn how to attract. You need to learn how to stop interfering with your own transmission. When you stop chasing, you start resonating, and life has no choice but to match you. If you feel this message was meant for you, stay with me. You are not here by accident. This is your signal. Now let us go deeper. If everything is energy, then your life is a mirror of your current broadcast. You are not reacting to reality. You are observing your own vibration reflected back. Every person you meet, every delay, every opportunity is feedback from the field. The language of the universe is not words, it is resonance. When you get quiet enough, you can hear it. It sounds like intuition. It feels like peace. It moves like flow. You do not have to force it. You just have to listen. Most people confuse noise with progress. They think movement means growth, but energy moves fastest in stillness. Silence is not emptiness. It is the space where the field reorganizes around you. When your inner tone becomes steady, the outer world begins to follow. This is why the moment you stop trying to fix life, life starts to fix itself. There is a quiet intelligence that moves through everything. It guides you when you are aligned and blinds you when you are not. It does not punish, it reflects. The same way a mirror does not decide what to show you, the field does not choose for you. It only amplifies the signal you give it. When your inner world becomes coherent, the outer world becomes inevitable. What you see changes, not because the world changed first, but because you did. Take a breath. Feel your body right now. The weight of your chest, the space between your thoughts. That stillness is not nothingness. That is you, the observer, the frequency behind every experience you have ever had. You are not a drop lost in the ocean. You are the ocean pretending to be a drop. The field is not something outside of you. It is what you are made of. The moment you remember that, life stops being something to chase and becomes something to express. You stop asking how to get what you want and start asking how to become who you already are. The field is not impressed by perfection. It is moved by authenticity. It responds to the courage of coherence, not the performance of control. So right now, Take another breath and ask yourself quietly, what signal have I been sending? Because whether you realize it or not, reality has been answering you the entire time. And maybe, just maybe, it has been waiting for this moment, for you to hear yourself clearly again. Everything in this universe is connected, not in a poetic way, but in a literal one. Science calls it quantum entanglement. When two particles are connected, no matter how far apart they are, a change in one instantly affects the other. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but to consciousness, it is simply how love works. The field that connects particles also connects you, me, and every version of who you have ever been. You are not a single point in space trying to reach another destination. You are a network of frequencies woven through time. You are the signal and the receiver at once. Think about this. You can sense when someone walks into a room angry, even before they speak. You can feel peace when someone calm sits beside you. That is entanglement made human. You are always tuning into emotional frequencies. You are constantly syncing with the energy around you, and more powerfully, with the energy of yourself. This is not imagination, it is resonance. You do not see energy with your eyes, but you live inside its ocean. Every version of you that ever made a choice still exists. The version that hesitated, the one that leaped, the one that healed instead of hiding, the one that trusted instead of doubting. They are all real in the quantum field, vibrating on different frequencies of the same consciousness. When you feel torn inside, it is not confusion, it is entanglement. You are feeling multiple timelines of yourself at once, each asking for your attention. The moment you choose, you collapse the others into silence, and reality rearranges around that decision. This is why your thoughts carry power beyond logic. The field does not wait for proof. It follows your coherence. When your inner state matches the vibration of the life you desire, reality synchronizes almost instantly. It does not need time to travel, because time is part of the illusion. In the quantum field, all possibilities exist at once. You do not move through time, you move through alignment. Every emotion you carry is a frequency code. Fear broadcasts instability. Gratitude broadcasts expansion. Shame contracts the field, while love opens it. The universe is not judging you, it is translating your vibration into form. If you walk through life believing you are unworthy, the field will mirror that belief until you change the tone. This is why repeating affirmations without changing your emotional signature does not work. The words may sound positive, but the frequency behind them still says, "I do not believe this yet." The field responds to that truth. You have already felt entanglement in moments that seemed unexplainable. The instant a person crosses your mind and they call you. The song that starts playing right when you needed it most. The sense that something is guiding you toward a specific decision. These are not coincidences. They are communications through the field. The universe is an intelligent mirror, reflecting your inner pattern with perfect precision. When you are clear, life becomes clear. When you are chaotic, the reflection distorts. You are not meant to fight this process. You are meant to learn its language. Energy responds to awareness, not to struggle. So instead of asking, "How do I make this happen?" begin asking, "What frequency am I speaking from?" The answer to that question will tell you everything about what is coming next. Here is a simple truth. You are entangled not only with people, but with possibilities, with futures that are already alive in the field. Every dream that feels impossible is not a fantasy. It is a parallel vibration of your consciousness calling you home. You are not chasing success, you are realigning with it. You are not seeking love. You are remembering where you lost your coherence with it. Take a moment and think of a time when you felt truly alive. when time disappeared, when every cell of your body hummed with presence. That was coherence. That was the frequency of truth. You were entangled with the version of you who already lives in peace. The field was not giving you a gift. It was giving you a preview. It was showing you that you have never been separate. The science of entanglement is not just about particles. It is a mirror of consciousness itself. If matter can stay connected beyond distance, so can you. The same principle that links photons across galaxies also links hearts across timelines. The same intelligence that holds the stars in orbit is the one that aligns your next step. You are not an accident inside the universe. You are the awareness that allows it to exist. So the next time you feel small, remember this: you are not one person moving through space. You are the field experiencing itself through a human lens. Every thought is a signal. Every feeling is a thread of connection. And every time you shift your state, the entire web of reality feels it. You do not have to believe this for it to be true. You only have to observe what happens when you choose peace over fear. Watch how life starts to move differently, quietly, faithfully, as if it was waiting for you to remember that you were never alone. Take a breath. Feel the hum beneath the silence. That is not the sound of emptiness. That is the sound of connection. You are already entangled with everything you will ever need. Every transformation begins with an ending, not a beginning. The old self has to die before the new one can breathe. But most people never allow that death. They keep reviving the same identity over and over, calling it stability, when it is really fear. You cannot hold on to who you were and expect to become who you are meant to be. The field cannot give you the frequency of your future if you are still broadcasting the echo of your past. This is the truth many people avoid, because endings feel like loss, but they are not. They are release. Every version of you that you have ever been still exists in the quantum field, waiting to be honored, not carried. You are not betraying the past when you outgrow it. You are fulfilling its purpose. The self that suffered, the one that doubted, the one that broke down, they all played their part. They held the weight until you were ready to let go. Ask yourself this quietly, without looking away. Who am I when no one is watching? Who am I when all the noise fades? That question is the mirror between your timelines. It shows you the difference between identity and essence. Identity is who you think you need to be to survive. Essence is who you are when survival is no longer the goal. You cannot carry both. One has to dissolve for the other to expand. The death of the old self does not happen in a dramatic explosion. It happens in silence, in small choices, in the moment you stop reacting from pain and start responding from truth. It happens when you stop explaining your limits and start observing them fade. Sometimes it feels like nothing is changing, but deep inside something is rearranging. The field is rewriting its code according to your new coherence. And yes, it hurts. Growth always does, because part of you still believes that pain means something is wrong. But in truth, pain is the signal of expansion. It is your energy stretching beyond what is familiar. The nervous system resists because it has memorized safety as suffering. That is why transformation feels like dying. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding the skin that no longer fits. Take a breath. Feel what your body is doing right now. Maybe your chest feels tight. Maybe your stomach is heavy. That is not a sign of weakness. That is the old identity fighting for oxygen. The version of you that lives in fear cannot survive in the air of freedom. It gasps, it trembles, it clings, but eventually it releases because the truth always wins. You have to let it die. The self that apologizes for existing, the self that waits for permission, The self that keeps choosing less because it is afraid of being too much. That self has done its job. It kept you safe. It built walls so you would not get hurt again. But now those walls are the cage. You cannot build a new life inside old protection. At some point you will feel it. The moment when holding on hurts more than letting go. That is the threshold. The energy that used to define you will start to collapse. Relationships may shift. Certain people will not understand. That is okay. They are entangled with the version of you that is leaving. You do not need to explain your evolution to those who are not ready to see it. You only need to stay coherent. And as the old self dissolves, something strange happens. The world around you begins to feel quiet, almost unfamiliar. You will notice gaps where old patterns used to live. You will hear silence where judgment used to echo. You will stand in spaces that once triggered you, and nothing will move inside. That is peace. But at first, it may feel empty, because chaos was your comfort. Let the emptiness come. It is not the absence of life. It is the space where new life forms. Most people never make it here because they mistake stillness for failure. But stillness is integration. It is the pause between dying and becoming. It is the sacred breath between the inhale and the exhale. In that pause, the field rewrites your identity. And when you stop running from it, you realize that nothing about you was ever broken. You were just unfinished. The real death is not losing things. It is losing illusions. The illusion that you were unworthy. The illusion that you had to prove something. The illusion that you had to earn your right to exist. When those die, you begin to live differently. Not from force, but from truth. So right now, ask yourself, am I willing to let that version of me die? Because this is not about destroying the past. It is about releasing its control. You cannot take old pain into new frequencies. You cannot speak the language of fear and expect the field to respond in love. Death, in this sense, is mercy. It is the universe clearing space for coherence. Take another breath, slow and steady. Feel the quiet after the storm. That silence is not empty. It is the voice of the new self, whispering, I am here. And when you finally stop trying to revive the old story, you will realize it never defined you. It only prepared you to remember who you are. Now that you have seen what must end, let us begin what must rise. Transformation does not start with action. It starts with awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to witness. The first step of every quantum shift is to see yourself clearly without judgment. That is where power begins, not in effort, but in presence. So right now, take a breath. Slow down. Feel the weight of your body against the chair, the ground beneath your feet, the sound of your own breathing. You are not doing this to calm down. You are doing this to remember. The present moment is the bridge between timelines. The version of you that already lives in peace is breathing through you right now. All you have to do is notice, witness. That is the first step. Observe the thoughts that run through you every morning, the quiet beliefs that shape your decisions, the voice that tells you you are not ready yet. Do not try to silence it. Just see it. Most people spend their lives trying to fight their mind, but you do not win by fighting the noise. You win by listening beyond it. When you see your patterns without shame, they begin to lose power. The field does not need your perfection. It needs your honesty. When you witness yourself clearly, you start to separate truth from programming. You start to see that most of your limits were inherited. Someone's fear, someone's belief, someone's silence that became your voice. Awareness is not about fixing. It is about reclaiming. You cannot change what you do not own. The moment you see the false identity as separate from who you are, the field begins to rewrite the code. Observation collapses the wave. You are doing it just by seeing. Now the second step, sever. This is where you shift the entanglement. It is not about rejecting who you were. It is about releasing the energy that no longer serves you. You can speak it quietly or only in your heart. Say it. This is no longer who I am. I release this version. I collapse this observer. You will feel resistance. That is natural. The old self does not die quietly. It will whisper that you are losing control. It will tell you that you are going too far. But you are not. You are going home. The pain you feel is not danger. It is disconnection leaving the system. Let yourself feel it. If tears come, let them. If silence fills the room, welcome it. Energy leaves the body in waves, not words. You do not need to understand it. You only need to allow it. You are cutting the invisible cords that tied you to the frequency of survival. The moment you say, "This is no longer me," the field listens. It rearranges instantly, even before you can see the proof. Now, the final step, choose. Once the old signal fades, you have space to decide who is behind your eyes. This is the part most people skip. They release the old self but never choose the new one. And because of that, the old identity returns. The field does not work in voids, it works in signals. So after you let go, you must choose with intention, not as a wish, but as a state. Stand like them, breathe like them, think like them, move like them. Every decision you make from that energy tells the field, "I'm already there." This is how quantum jumping really works. It is not magic, it is coherence. You shift the version of yourself that is observing reality. The jump does not happen through effort, it happens through surrender. It is not about forcing the new self. It is about becoming impossible for the old one to return. If you felt something real during this practice, do not let the algorithm decide when you remember again. Subscribe so we can stay connected in this field, so that every time you return here, you return to the version of yourself that remembers who you are. We are not just watching a video, we are building a frequency. Now breathe again. Feel the stillness after the release. The space inside you that feels lighter, clearer, almost unfamiliar. That is coherence forming. Do not rush to fill it. Most people panic when they feel peace because they mistake silence for emptiness. But silence is where creation begins. Stay with it. The field is not slow, it is exact. It is recalibrating around your new tone. You may notice small shifts in the next few days. Conversations that feel different. People who respond in new ways. Things that once irritated you will pass through you without friction. That is not coincidence. That is resonance. The field is matching your new broadcast. You have changed your identity, and the universe is taking note. Every thought, every choice, every breath from here forward is a declaration of frequency. You are no longer living reactively. You are creating intentionally. The person you were is not gone. They have simply stepped aside. They made room for you. So remember these 3 steps. Witness, sever, choose. They are not a ritual you perform once. They are a rhythm you live by. Each day, you witness what arises. You sever what no longer fits. And you choose again. Over time, not in years but in moments, you will feel the field responding faster and faster because the observer is no longer split. You are coherent. You are clear. You are the signal. And one day, without even noticing, you will wake up and realize, this is the life I used to visualize. And it will not feel like a miracle. It will feel natural. Because what was once effort has become being. That is the real quantum leap. It does not end in fireworks. It ends in peace. Take one last deep breath. Feel what is different in your body. Not what you hope to feel, but what you already know. That is your new baseline. That is the frequency of truth. After a quantum leap, the first thing most people feel is not joy, it is confusion. You start to notice subtle shifts that make no sense to the logical mind. People respond to you differently. Certain things that used to feel important suddenly lose their weight. The rhythm of your days begins to change, and a quiet part of you wonders, what is happening to me? This is what the moment after the jump feels like. The energy around you is rearranging, and your nervous system is trying to catch up. When you shift identity, the field must recalibrate. It is not chaos, it is chemistry. You have introduced a new vibration into a system that has been running on the same code for years. The old frequency begins to dissolve, but like all energy, it does not disappear instantly. It echoes, it flickers. It tries to pull you back through memory and emotion. You may feel waves of sadness for no reason, or a sense of emptiness where motivation used to be. This is not regression, it is realignment. The old timeline is releasing its grip. Imagine changing a radio station after years of static. For a few seconds, you hear both songs overlapping, a noise between worlds. That is what this stage feels like. The old and the new frequencies blending as the dial settles into clarity. Most people mistake that noise for failure. They say, nothing is changing, I am still the same. But that is not true. The static is proof that the signal is moving. The discomfort you feel is confirmation that the old code is breaking. The field responds instantly, but the body is slower. Your cells, your habits, your emotions are used to an old vibration. And when coherence upgrades, the body needs time to stabilize. So be gentle with yourself. You're not doing something wrong. You are integrating a new level of awareness into physical form. Rest when you need to. Drink more water. Spend time in silence. Let your nervous system learn that peace is not a threat. You might also notice strange patterns, objects misplaced and reappearing, random synchronicities that seem too precise to ignore, conversations that end with a sense of déjà vu. These are not glitches, they are confirmations. The universe is showing you that it is listening. It is reflecting your new broadcast in ways that bypass logic. You are living in a feedback loop with your higher self. And now that connection is active, reality begins to answer faster. But here is where many people undo their progress. They interpret the noise as punishment, the emotion as regression, and they collapse back into the old observer. The mind says, see, nothing has changed. You imagined it. But you cannot measure transformation with the same awareness that needed transformation. The observer has shifted, and the old perspective cannot see the new reality yet. So do not judge the jump from the middle of it. You are not falling back. You are stabilizing forward. Sometimes relationships will tremble. People tuned to your old vibration may feel distant. Some will fade gently. Some will resist. Not because they are wrong, but because their coherence belongs to another version of you. You are not rejecting them. You are releasing resonance. Energy travels in patterns, and when yours changes, the ones that no longer match will drift away naturally. Let them. You cannot anchor the new while holding the old. As the days pass, the noise fades. The field begins to harmonize with your new tone. You will feel moments of deep calm, followed by bursts of clarity. The air itself seems lighter, your intuition sharper. The universe feels closer, almost alive. That is not imagination, that is alignment. You are starting to experience reality from the frequency of your future. And it feels different because it is. There will come a moment when you realize that nothing outside of you caused this change. It was not luck, it was coherence. You became the signal, and the field responded. That is the secret of the jump. You do not chase the new timeline. You become its vibration until the universe has no choice but to recognize it. So when things feel strange, when emotions rise for no reason, when life seems to pause between breaths, remember this: you are not breaking down, you are breaking free. The stillness you feel is not emptiness, it is recalibration. The silence is not absence, it is alignment. And every heartbeat in that silence is a message from the new reality saying, welcome home. Take a deep breath. Feel the air move through you, steady and clean. The jump has already happened. All that remains is to let the body believe it. Now that you have jumped, the question is not whether it worked. The question is how you will live inside the new frequency. Every leap must be anchored, or the field begins to drift back toward what feels familiar. Recalibration is not about doing more. It is about being steady. It is the quiet discipline of choosing coherence again and again, even when the world has not caught up yet. After a shift, the universe tests nothing, but it listens. It listens to the vibration you hold in the silence between your actions. The field is not asking for effort. It is asking for consistency. Consistency is the proof of belief. The words you speak may sound confident, but the energy you emit when no one is watching tells the truth. So the real practice is not to convince the world. It is to convince your nervous system that you are safe in this new identity. In the first few days after a quantum jump, life will present situations that mirror the old reality. Bills, conversations, habits, emotions, not as punishment, but as calibration points. The field is asking, do you still respond from the old signal or from the new one? This is where you learn stability. Every time you respond as your new self, the frequency locks in deeper. Every time you choose differently, the code strengthens. So when fear knocks, do not push it away. Notice it, breathe, and answer as the version of you who no longer negotiates with limitation. When a challenge appears, pause and say quietly, this is the test of coherence. The universe is not testing my worth, it is echoing my vibration. I will choose peace anyway. That choice alone rewires the field. Here is a truth that most people forget. The universe does not reward intensity. It rewards consistency. One clear decision repeated daily outshines 1,000 moments of inspiration. Reality shifts in patterns, and patterns respond to repetition. If you hold a new vibration long enough, it becomes the only tone the field recognizes. That is when miracles stop feeling miraculous. They start feeling normal. To help you stabilize, try this simple practice. Every morning, before you look at your phone, ask yourself one question. What is one action my new self would take today? Not a big action, a small one, but aligned. It could be choosing patience where you used to rush, speaking truth where you used to stay silent, standing tall where you used to shrink. That one choice begins the ripple. Over time, the ripple becomes your rhythm, and the rhythm becomes your reality. Share one small action your new self would take today. Write it below. Let us strengthen the field together. When you speak it into words, you anchor it in matter. You tell the universe, this is the frequency I am living from. We are not here to chase energy. We are here to stabilize it. This is how we make coherence collective. Consistency does not mean perfection. You will forget sometimes. You will slip into old habits. That is not failure, it is feedback. The moment you remember, you recalibrate. The power is not in never falling. It is in how fast you return. Each time you choose alignment again, the old vibration loses strength. This is how the new self becomes permanent, not by effort, but by rhythm. When the outside world feels slow to respond, do not rush it. Reality moves at the speed of your stability. The field mirrors consistency, not intensity. Keep breathing. Keep choosing. Keep being the signal. The universe does not need your struggle to adjust. It needs your steadiness to synchronize. There will come a point when you realize that what used to feel like practice now feels like nature. You will not have to remind yourself to stay calm. You will just be calm. You will not have to visualize abundance. You will walk in it. That is the proof of calibration. When the frequency becomes so stable that the field forgets the old code completely. So stay with it, one breath at a time, one choice at a time. You are no longer learning how to be the new self. You are learning how to live as them. That is the art of consistency, and it is the final bridge between alignment and embodiment. Take a deep breath and feel that. Every heartbeat, every exhale, is a signal to the universe that says, I am ready, I am here, I am consistent. And the field always answers that tone. There comes a moment when everything that once felt like effort begins to feel natural. When you no longer wake up trying to remember who you are becoming, because being has replaced becoming. This is integration. It is not loud. It does not come with fireworks or confirmation. It arrives quietly, like dawn. You realize that what used to take practice now happens by itself. You speak truth without hesitation. You breathe without waiting for permission. You walk through the same world, but the world responds differently because you do. Integration is not about adding more. It is about releasing resistance. When coherence becomes stable, you do not have to hold it. It holds you. The field moves through you effortlessly. The things you used to chase start finding you, not because they changed, but because your vibration stopped pushing them away. The universe is magnetic to peace. When you stop striving, it approaches. That is why calm people attract what they need. Their energy has room to receive. This is also where many people feel confused, because after a long journey of transformation, they expect intensity. They expect signs, breakthroughs, validation, but the real proof of growth is the absence of noise. It is when nothing needs to happen for you to feel complete. Silence becomes enough. Stillness becomes power. You are not chasing experiences anymore. You are becoming the experience. You will notice small things first. The moment when anger rises but dissolves before it becomes reaction. The conversation that used to trigger you now ends in understanding. The fear that used to stop you now becomes fuel for clarity. You will realize that the same world feels lighter, not because it changed, but because you stopped fighting it. That is the texture of peace. As the new frequency stabilizes, life begins to unfold with grace. Opportunities appear without pressure. The right people seem to find you at the perfect time. Your intuition becomes sharper, guiding you quietly through each decision. You are no longer searching for signs. You are following resonance. And this is where the field reveals its intelligence. It does not need to shout, it whispers. And when you listen, everything aligns. Integration does not mean you will never feel fear again. It means fear no longer leads. It no longer writes your story. It becomes a background sound, faint and harmless. You will still have challenges, but they will not define you. You will still have emotions, but they will pass through without control. You will still have uncertainty, but it will no longer mean danger. It will mean expansion. The version of you that used to fight for survival has been replaced by one that flows with awareness. You stop reacting from protection and start responding from truth. That is the difference between living and being alive. Living is reacting, being alive is remembering. And now you are remembering. There will be moments when the old frequency tries to test the stability of the new one. It will whisper, "Are you sure this is real?" You will feel the pull to doubt, but the doubt will fade faster each time. Integration is the process of forgetting to forget. Eventually, the old patterns stop showing up, not because you forced them away, but because they have no resonance here. They cannot survive in your new tone. Take a breath. Feel what is different in your body now compared to the beginning. Notice how calm feels familiar, how stillness feels safe. That is the sign that you have integrated. You are no longer performing peace. You are living it. The field no longer mirrors your effort. It mirrors your essence. And when your essence is consistent, reality becomes effortless. So when life feels quiet, do not mistake it for emptiness. It is fullness without noise. It is alignment without effort. This is what you have been building all along. Not a new reality, but a new relationship with it. Integration means the observer and the observed are finally one. Sit with that for a moment. Breathe. Feel the weight of simplicity. The jump is complete when the new self no longer feels new. It just feels true. And that truth, steady and silent, is the sound of freedom. There comes a moment when you stop trying to live in alignment and realize you already are. You are no longer practicing presence. You are presence. You are not reaching for the frequency. You are the frequency. This is what it means to live as the field. The separation between you and life dissolves, and everything begins to move as one continuous flow. You no longer wake up trying to make things happen. You wake up listening. When you live as the field, you stop chasing outcomes and start reading energy. You feel what wants to unfold instead of forcing what you think should. You realize that resistance is not an obstacle. It is information. It tells you where the flow is not yet free. You stop arguing with what is and start collaborating with it. This is the highest form of intelligence, to move with the current rather than against it. Reality no longer feels like something outside of you. It feels like an extension of your awareness. Every encounter, every delay, every quiet moment carries meaning. Life becomes conversational. You begin to sense how the universe speaks in rhythm, in timing, in synchronicities that line up with your vibration. You no longer ask for signs. You live inside them. The field is not something you visit during meditation. It is what you are breathing right now. It is the invisible fabric connecting every thought, every action, every heart that beats in coherence with truth. When you walk, the field walks. When you speak, the field listens. When you love, the field expands. The more aware you become of this, the more you realize that separation was the illusion all along. Living as the field means you stop needing to be special. You stop chasing spiritual highs or external validations. The extraordinary becomes ordinary, and the ordinary becomes sacred. Washing dishes, walking in silence, feeling the sun on your face. These become acts of communion. Every breath is a prayer. Every moment is proof that the divine is not above you or beyond you. It is within you. And yes, life will still bring contrast. There will still be moments of doubt, fear, or pain. But when you live as the field, you see them differently. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But "What is this teaching me?" You understand that every disruption is an invitation to return to coherence. The moment you stop resisting, the field recalibrates. Reality becomes gentle again, even in its challenges. When you live like this, miracles lose their drama. They become quiet confirmations of alignment. You start to notice that people around you soften. Strangers feel familiar. Opportunities arrive with perfect timing. You realize that nothing is random. The same intelligence that spins the galaxies is guiding your next breath. You are not asking the universe to help you anymore. You are letting it live through you. Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you can. Feel your heartbeat, steady and calm. That pulse is not just yours. It is the pulse of existence. Every breath you take echoes through the quantum field. Every act of awareness sends ripples through reality. You are not a wave lost in the ocean. You are the ocean remembering itself. Living as the field is the true end of seeking. You are not becoming energy. You always were. You simply stop believing you were separate. When that belief ends, peace begins. The observer and the observed merge, and reality stops feeling like something to control. It becomes something to trust. You start living from the inside out, effortlessly, coherently, truthfully. Take one more breath and feel it land. That is your anchor. The signal is steady now. You have come full circle, from chasing the field to realizing you were never outside of it. If you are ready to take this deeper, the next journey is about silence and how stillness rewires your timeline. Watch that next. Let the stillness remind you that creation does not start in noise. It starts in quiet awareness. This is not goodbye. This is continuation. The field does not end when the video ends. It moves through you, with you, as you. Breathe once more. Feel the connection expand. And remember, when it feels normal, it becomes real.